Seti I was one of the most prominent rulers of ancient Egypt, and his reign is considered one of the most important in the country's long history. He was the second pharaoh of the 19th dynasty, considered a period of cultural flourishing and renaissance of ancient Egypt. Seti I's reign lasted from about 1294 to 1279 BC, and he is believed to have ascended the throne at the age of about 30. Seti I is also known as the father of Ramses II, who became one of the most powerful rulers in ancient Egyptian history. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. You'll never miss a video and help us to deliver even more great content. Click that like button and sign up today. Seti I was born in Avaris, the capital of the Hyksos, a pagan dynasty that ruled Egypt for more than a century. His father, Ramses I, was a military commander who served under the previous pharaoh, Horemheb. Seti I's mother, Queen Sitre, was a member of the royal harem who rose to prominence during Horemheb's reign. Seti I's early life is shrouded in mystery and little is known about his upbringing. However, it is believed that he received a traditional education and was trained in military tactics and management. When Seti I was in his 30s, his father Ramses I died, and he ascended the throne as pharaoh. Seti I's reign length was either 11 or 15 full years. His reign began with a series of military campaigns aimed at securing Egypt's borders and consolidating power in the region. He waged successful campaigns against the Hittites, Nubians, and other neighboring peoples, and extended Egypt's territory into present-day Syria and Sudan. One of his most important military achievements was his victory over the Hittites at the Battle of Kadesh, considered one of the largest and most recorded battles in ancient history. The battle took place in 1274 BC between the forces of Seti I and King Muwatalli II of the Hittite Empire. The Hittites have been expanding their influence into Syria, an area traditionally under Egyptian control. This expansion was seen as a direct threat to Egypt's power and prestige, prompting Seti I to act. Seti I led his troops across the Sinai Peninsula and into Syria, where he encountered Hittite forces near the city of Kadesh. The Hittites anticipated the invasion of Egypt and prepared an ambush, with thousands of troops hiding, waiting for the Egyptians to approach. Though caught off guard and outnumbered, Seti I managed to turn the tide of the battle in his favor. He launched a surprise attack on the Hittite forces, causing chaos and confusion in their ranks. The battle was long and fierce, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. Seti I's victory at Kadesh helped establish Egyptian control over Syria and pave the way for future Egyptian conquests in the area. Seti I's rise to power was not without challenges. He faced opposition from rival factions within the court, as well as from powerful regional governors who sought to maintain their independence. Seti I responded by appointing loyal officials and consolidating his control over the bureaucracy and the military. He also instituted a series of religious reforms, which won the support of the priesthood and the general populace. Seti I is known for his ambitious construction projects, including temples, palaces, and other great structures. He continued the work of his predecessors and built many great buildings, including the Temple of Osiris in Abydos, the Mortuary Temple in the Qurna, and the hypostyle Hall in Karnak. One of his most important construction projects was the Temple of Osiris in Abydos, which was dedicated to the god Osiris and was one of the most important religious centers in Egypt. It was located in the Theban necropolis in Upper Egypt, across the Nile from the modern city of Thebes. The temple may have been built towards the end of Seti's reign and was completed by his son Ramses the Great after his death. His temple was built on the site of an earlier temple and was designed to be a monument of grandeur that would inspire awe and reverence for those who visit it. Seti I was also a religious reformer who sought to revive the Egyptian tradition of worshiping the gods and goddesses. He instituted new rituals and festivals, such as the Apet festival, the celebration of the resurrection of the god Amun. He also commissioned many statues and other works of art depicting the gods and goddesses of Egypt in all their glory. One of Seti I's most important religious reforms was his decision to restore Amun's priesthood to its former glory. During his reign, the priesthood of Amun became one of the most powerful and influential institutions in Egypt, and its members enjoyed immense wealth and prestige. Seti I's reign had a lasting impact on Egypt and its people. His military conquests helped secure Egypt's borders and establish its dominance in the region. His religious construction and reform projects helped inspire people to visit the temple and see his artworks. Seti I's legacy also extended to his son, Ramses II, who succeeded him as pharaoh and went on to become one of the most powerful rulers in ancient Egyptian history. Ramses II continued his father's construction projects and conducted many military campaigns to expand Egypt's territory and consolidate power in the region. King Seti I, one of the most powerful pharaohs of ancient Egypt, died in 1279 BC. The exact cause of Seti I's death is unknown, but it is believed that he died of natural causes. After his death, he was buried in a large tomb in the Valley of the Kings, considered one of the most impressive and best-preserved tombs of all pharaohs. Seti I's tomb is located in the Valley of the Kings in Luxor, Egypt. It was discovered in 1817 by Italian archaeologist Giovanni Bolzoni and named KV-17. The tomb consists of several corridors and rooms, all decorated with intricate carvings and colorful paintings depicting various scenes from ancient Egyptian mythology and the life of the pharaoh. It was also the first tomb to have decorations including the Book of the Heavenly Bull on every aisle and room with elaborate reliefs. The burial chamber in Seti I's tomb is particularly impressive, featuring a giant sarcophagus made of red quartz and weighing more than 70 tons. The walls of the room are decorated with beautiful paintings and carvings, including the famous painting of the goddess Nut, stretching from the ceiling, symbolizing the passage of the sun in the sky. The entrance to the tomb leads to a secret tunnel behind the coffin, estimated by Belzoni's team to be 100 meters long. However, the tunnel was not excavated until 1961, when a team, led by Sheikh Ali Abdul Rasul, began digging to uncover a secret burial chamber they believed contained treasure. The team's excavation was halted, and the team found the passage to be 30 meters longer than originally estimated. In 2010, a team from Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities, led by Dr. Zahi Hawass, completed excavation of the tunnel, which began after the discovery of a 136-meter steep downward passage. After discovering 2 separate stairs, the team found that the tunnel ran for a total of 174 meters. Unfortunately, the last step seems to have been left unfinished before completion, and no secret burial chamber has been found. Seti I's mummy remained hidden in his tomb for more than 3,000 years until it was discovered in 1881 by French archaeologist Gaston Maspero. The mummy was found in a hidden room inside the mausoleum. After Seti I died, his body was embalmed and prepared for burial according to ancient Egyptian custom. The mummification process involved removing the internal organs, which were then placed in a canopy and buried with the pharaoh. The body was then wrapped in linen and adorned with jewels, including amulets and other ornaments. The mummy is in very good condition and still retains some hairs and other points on the face. The discovery of the mummy has provided valuable insight into Seti I's appearance and the techniques used by the ancient Egyptian mummies. Seti I's mummies was then subjected to a scientific analysis, including a CT scan and DNA testing. These examinations revealed that the pharaoh was about 45 years old at the time of his death and suffered from a number of health problems, including arthritis and dental problems. The discovery of Seti I's tomb and mummy has provided important insights into ancient Egyptian culture and the lives of the pharaohs. The intricate architectural and decorative details of the tomb showcase the amazing skill and ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians, while the discovery of the mummy sheds light on medical methods and technologies studied at that time. King Seti I married many wives and had many children, including at least 2 sons, who would later become pharaohs. One of Seti I's most notable wives was Queen Tuya, the mother of his successor, Ramses II. Tuya was an important figure in her own right and had considerable influence in court. She was known for her intelligence and political acumen, and her son Ramses II will credit her for shaping his own leadership style. In addition to Ramses II, Seti had several other grandchildren, including Prince Kamweset and Prince Amun-her-Hepshef. Kamwenset was known to be interested in Egypt's past and became the high priest of the country's Ptah. After Seti I's death, Ramses II succeeded him as pharaoh and continued many of his father's building policies and projects. Ramses II went on to become one of the most famous pharaohs in ancient Egyptian history, known for his military prowess and prolific construction campaigns. Seti I's legacy continued long after his death, with his son Ramses II dedicated many of his own construction projects in memory of his father. The pharaohs who followed Seti I also continued to honor him with some offerings to his tomb, and even claiming to be his descendants. King Seti I was one of the most important pharaohs in ancient Egyptian history. His reign was marked by military successes, impressive construction projects, and contributions to the country's religion and culture. Despite his brief reign, Seti I left a lasting impact on ancient Egypt. His legacy continued long after his death. Today, Seti I is remembered as one of the great pharaohs in ancient Egypt, and his monuments and inscriptions will continue to attract and inspire visitors from all over the world. Please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and I can't wait to see you in the upcoming videos.